And the last number is the one that is also pertinent to this case, and is the 2782704435 a section 205 was obtained in respect of that number, correct?
That's correct.
Now, let's deal a bit with this number, 2782704535, the bottom one. On the 26th of October 2014, at any stage, according to your analysis, were there any activities on this number?
If I look here on the data used,
Yes.
from 1400 hours, 2:07, on the 26th, no activities on the phone.
And until when were there no activities on that number?
Let's say until the end, because during the night of 27,
Yes.
the police is in position of the phone.
I'll come to that in a moment. Just for the sake of completeness, on the 25th of October, the day before the incident, are there any activities on this phone, the 4358?
There were some activities. He did receive SMS.
Were there only SMSs? There were no call activities received, outgoing?
Let me just go to the cell phone log still. There's only SMS and he didn't answer any calls.
Now, per the information available to you, if you recall, when were the phone, the 4358, I'm sorry, seized by the police on the 26th or 27th of October? Do you know what time?
No, I'm not sure about that. As far as my knowledge, Sergeant Moswana and Colonel Netlem seized it during that night.
The reason I'm asking you this is the following. Indeed so, Zandile Khumalo testifies in this court, and she stated that upon their return from Botsilong Hospital, once it was certified that the person that was shot has died, upon return to the home, 13511 Kultano Street, Mzamo section, that is the crime scene, before they could enter the house, their personal cell phones were seized from them and packaged by the police. So I agree that this phone was seized. What is the issue is your inference in your testimony that there was a device boot up, which implies that for nefarious reasons or for legitimate reasons, the user or the owner of that phone attempted to delete the whole or part of the data on the phone.
That's correct.
The ball was definitely dropped by the investigating officers on the day of the murder of Senzo Mayua and after that. Why do I say that? Because we find out that Kelly Khumalo has over 6 cell phones, okay? But when they come back from the hospital, they only take the one phone. Therefore, there's only the 205 for that phone. I'll keep asking this question until Kelly Khumalo takes the stand and tells us, why did she attempt to reboot, or should I say delete information? In Ramasepele's words, for nefarious reasons. Why did she attempt to delete information? What is on that phone? What was on that phone that she didn't want anyone to see, aka the police? This is why, for me, I say she's accused number 0. Why? Why? This is during a period of mourning. I understand that people grieve differently. I've never heard of a person grieving by taking their phone and attempting to delete stuff. It wasn't a secret relationship. He was the father to your daughter. You went over to the Mayuas and you were introduced to them. You might say you don't know them, but that activity happened. Senzo took the baby, your daughter, to his family. So I don't understand the need to delete information unless, of course, you were hiding something. But what could Kelly Khumalo have been hiding? Is that the reason why she didn't call the police when Senzo was shot? Is that the reason why she called Chikotwala instead? What was the reason? Maybe Chikotwala has some first aid skills. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm very suspicious of this. Very suspicious. Disappointed that there are no other 205s. And you also see that that phone, she did not use it at all the entire day of the 26th of October 2024. Ramasepele asked a great question. What about on the 25th of October? Let's see a pattern. Does this person use this number, or is this just a burner line for Kelly Khumalo? Guess what? The previous day, there's activity on the phone. There's SMSs. There's phone calls coming in. She didn't answer any, but the phone was active. On the 26th of October 2024, the phone was not active. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section. Let's break it down. But let's continue on with what Ramasepele brings to the table.
And you put the time of the device boot up at around 1 a.m., if I'm not mistaken. And by then, according to the testimony of Zandile, because they returned from the hospital between 11 and 12 a.m., 11 p.m., 12 a.m., 00 a.m., the phone was already in the possession of the police. So the user or the owner could not have been the person that performed that device boot up action or activity on the phone.
My lord, I can't testify on when did they seize the phone.
Yeah,
Okay.
quite.
Yes,
As a court case, criminal element firm just refers to the relevant portion in the report where Ms. Zandile Khumalo testified about this aspect.
No, she
that we
never
can
did.
check.
she never testified about which aspect, my lord?
Yeah,
About which aspect?
concerning the rebooting of the phone after it was.
I'm saying about the seizing of the phone.
Yeah, but
The
the
phones were
critical thing
seized
is the rebooting,
Upon,
not so much the seizing.
I said his testimony is that
Whose testimony?
Lieutenant Colonel
Yeah.
Spain is that the boot up. Let's not confuse this glossary of terms. Rebooting is something else. Boot up. He says the boot up happens at around 1. Him, not Zandile talking about that. So, and I'll give you that, in fact, to be fair to you. Unless you've got the actual log of when these phones were collected, you wouldn't tell when they were seized from these people. But the point is that this phone was seized by the police on that night.
That's correct.
In fact, let's go to this boot up, device boot up, because and I must be frank with you, I was quite perplexed when you said boot up means somebody is trying to delete memory data, wipe out his or their phone.
That's correct.
With my little understanding, and you are the expert, but what I researched about this, hence I said to the court, let's not use reboot, boot, because they mean different things. My research on this aspect, it says boot up of a device means my phone was switched off. I'm simply switching it on. If I want to delete something and wipe out my memory, you testified correctly to Mr. Mgomezu. You use factory settings to wipe out of your entire memory. That's what we said to Mr. Mgomezu. If I want to delete or wipe out my memory, I'll go to factory settings, then I'll instruct my phone to do whatever it does, and it does. My research shows me exactly that. But the boot up of a device means I'm switching on a phone that was sleeping, that was off. It's got nothing to do with the deletion of information on that device.
Sorry.
My lord, I can't agree. Then there must be a list like this when she switched on and off the film?
Now let's go to the so-called runaway phone, which will be this number, the 2772932498. That was allegedly stolen from 13511 Kutlano Street by the perpetrators that entered that house. In your previous so let's go to, according to your analysis, or we can go to the section 205 itself.
You don't have the 205 in front of me now.
Yeah, it can be available to you, but let's go according to what you did and the access of the 205 that you had. You stated in your testimony previously, last year, August, that this runaway or so-called runaway phone, its last activity was 21:52:57 or thereabouts, and the tower that it registered on was Moleleki Tower. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
And you testified that Moleleki Tower is in the vicinity of a hostel. At the time, you did not specify which hostel, but we were talking within the context of Basotho Hostel. So I'm giving you this chance to clarify that, because I put as a proposition to Ms. Vaitilingem, and my learned colleague, Ms. Advocate Sibanda, objected to say, you did not say so. So I want to put it so that you clarify that. We are on the same page.
But refer to the witness. Give the witness a map. Because all of us were in the dark until a map surfaced, or maps surfaced.
Yes, I'll refer the witness. There's exhibit JJ 10-5 that depicts Basotho Hostel and the distance between Basotho Hostel and Moleleki SGS. That's exhibit J 10, my lord, in brackets 5. And also, my lord, there's a, we can deal with this one. There's another one also that I want to refer the witness to. Or there's exhibit J 7 in brackets capital A. Those two documents, my lord, those two exhibits, which will show a variety of data that Ms. Vaitilingen testified about. That is for tower locations and distances, and the pertinent distance is Basotho Hostel to Moleleki SGS Tower, which will be on page 2 of that document. Do you see that?
Yes.
And according to this exhibit, the distance between Basotho Hostel and Moleleki SGS Tower is about 4.7 kilometers to in between the two places. You see that?
That's correct.
Remember on your penultimate day when you were led by my learned colleague, Advocate Baloi, and that was also part of the bench question, where you were asked whether you have distances between clinics and Clinics Hospital, Butsilon Clinics, and the crime scene, whether you've got distances between the crime scene and Basotho Hostel, and you came up with certain kilometers. And in fact, you stated that you had even searched Google Earth and you traveled and saw that Clinics Tower is in the vicinity of Fosloras Clinics Hospital. You remember?
That's correct.
Now, with respect to this Moleleki Tower, it is important for the following reason. The state's theory is that the phone that was stolen belonging to Ms. Kelly Khumalo, the Samsung S4, its movement leads to, and the signal dies, according to the affidavit of Brigadier Beninda, when it reaches the hostel. And according to the evidence of Pinky Vitalingham, where's the document? Are about 3 towers in the vicinity of Basotho Hostel. And Muleleki Tower wouldn't be one of the towers that service Basotho Hostel. Because the towers that are there, it's 2G, Foslora Square, next in the vicinity of Basotho Hostel. It will be 2G, Clinics Fosloras, MN1 SGS. It will be the Fosloras Hostel, and it will be Bupang Khotso Hostel. So Muleleki Tower is, she even pointed, it's down here in the south, further away from Basotho Hostel.
My lord, it's possible that he could, that the cell phone tower in question being used that time. The phone was moving, so it's possible that he didn't use, he used the strongest signal from the tower. So it's possible that it will pick up another tower. So it's not to say he will always use the closest one.
You see, that answer of possibilities does not pass muster. And I'll tell you why. Everything under this sun is possible. Now, with that answer that we've just proffered, we'll have then to determine the range of coverage of Muleleki. You agree?
It's not necessary, because please bear in mind, this is all SMS. It's not a call.
Sorry?
It's SMS. It's not a call.
Which activity are you referring to, an SMS that logged Muleleki Tower?
At 21:53:44. It's
Yes.
an SMS.
And what's the difference between an SMS and a voice call received or outgoing, registering on a tower to make an activity?
On the SMS, it can go to the strongest, or it can go to a tower with a dish, not a normal dish, which is all, I must say, to take the load off the normal tower. So all the SMSs can go to a tower with 2 different functions.
So my learned friends busy with cross-examination. The witness was called specifically to
No, it's
testify.
okay. Let him go on. No problem.
That's a good pleasure.
No problem.
In fact, my lord, that's one of the clarification questions that I requested when the witness was
Yeah.
called, whether are we limited to the 2 aspects or to clarify issues.
No, fine. Yes,
Yes.
no problem. I don't know. But just recall what Mr. Tillingham said.
Yes.
He said that sometimes,
Yeah.
if this is the nearest tower,
Yes.
if we're traveling with this way, and this is the farthest tower,
Yes.
if this tower is overworked, that's correct.
That's correct.
If it's overworked, it will not impinge on this. It will impinge on the next tower, which is further up away, but it's not overworked. That's how Pinky Tillingham testified. Is there
100%.
truth in that statement?
That's true.
100%, my lord.
Yeah.
But remember also the limitation in urban,
Yes.
rural, and the like. And she testified that in urban areas it can be 250 to
That's it.
initially 25, then
Yes.
she went to 5 kilometers. That's why my proposition is that if he says this is a possibility, then somebody else must come and tell us. Not today, not in 2020, but
Well.
back in 2014, how these towers were.
Please.
2014.
2014.
Yes,
Who
my
will
lord.
tell us in 2014?
Sorry?
Who is that who will tell us in 2014?
My lord, that's how they determine the range of
No,
towers.
but
in-
I'm asking you, who?
Yes.
So that we must call that person.
We had spoken to my learned colleague before to say that an engineer can tell us, because some of the towers were not even in existence in 2014. Towers are commissioned and decommissioned, my lord.
Yes, any other further clarification or questions?
I'm looking at my notes, my lord. I'm just about done. No, it's fine. I'm finishing. We'll eat. My lord, practically those are my questions that I wanted to clarify. I just want to make sure that I don't leave out so that once I'm done, Lieutenant Colonel doesn't have to come back from George. Those are all the clarification questions, my lord. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Well, well, well. Look at that. Ramasepele stood up, okay? He stood up tall to Judge Ratha. And I mean that. He really did. Baloyi objected and said, you know what, you've got to give us more specific information with regards to Zandile Khumalo's testimony, because Zandile Khumalo said their cell phones were confiscated after they came back from the hospital. And Judge Ratha, all of a sudden, descends into the arena and he says, she never said that. Forget about your objection, Baloyi. Zandile Khumalo never said that. And Ramasepele said, never said what? I was like, whoa, look at you. I did not expect that from him. And then he goes, and then Judge Ratha, of course, mumbles this and that. And Ramasepele says, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. In Nisi's famous words, don't put words in my mouth. I wish Ramasepele had said that, but we know Ramasepele is the gentle soul, okay? He would never, ever, as he said before, this forces us to then be like my learned colleague, Ngomezulu. I'm not like that, okay? Don't push me. Ramasepele says, I never said that. I never said that at all. I said, Zandile Khumalo said they came back between 11 a.m. and 12 a.m., but Stein says the reboot happened around 1 a.m., so therefore, Kelly Khumalo is not the one who did the reboot because at that time, the phone was in police custody. Woo! What are your thoughts on that? So did Kelly Khumalo do the reboot or not, or was it the police? Why would the police want to reboot her phone? That's a very interesting phenomenon, but you know what? He didn't pursue it further. He dropped it after that. And that's one thing I don't like about the defense. They bring up relevant points, but they don't finish them off. They don't take it home. They don't, close it up nicely. We saw that with Ngomezulu with the Poppy Act. Of course, in that case, he was wrong in terms of timelines and dates, but he must have had a point that he wanted to get through. Of course, he couldn't complete that because he had his dates all wrong, but he should have been able to adjust his what he was putting to the table. Another thing I want to say is what Ramasepele, he doesn't have a very good memory. When he's summarizing things, he's not very specific and sharp. Unfortunately, his assistant is way too busy on the phone. Okay, she's way too busy to assist him until a point where you could tell he was looking for some paperwork. Normally, she would help him out. She missed that whole session. She wasn't even there. Hello, anybody home? She was way out there in cell phone land. But you know what? I digress. Let's go into what else happened here. What else transpired? Ramasepele then transitions from the reboot or the boot up, as he calls it, because Ramasepele is the tech guy. He wants to use the right tech terminology, and that again didn't go through anywhere. Stein said that's not how it works. Ramasepele said this is how it works, and it just died out. It just frickled out. It's just a point that just went nowhere. Of course, we all know Judge Ratha didn't write anything down there, so I don't see the point of bringing up technical terms if you can't hold your ground about it. Or how about bring an engineer? Speaking of an engineer, hold on to that thought. We'll get to it. Then he moves into the second part and he talks about the runaway number, okay? That is Kelly Kumalo's stolen number that was stolen by the intruders according to the state story or version of events. That's the Samsung S4, okay? And the last time that phone had any activity was an SMS at the Mololeki Tower, okay? I hope there'll be a day once where we'll never talk about towers again. I never thought in my life I'd ever have so much information on towers, but you know what? It is what it is. It's supposed to be the Senzo Mayua trial, but one day, hopefully this case will crack. Ratha says, be fair to the witness. Give the witness a map. We were all lost before Pinky produced those maps for us. So give him a witness. So, Ramasepele has his map. That's when he starts searching for it. He finds it. And then he ended up with someone, an engineer, should come to tell us how the towers work in 2014. Judge Ratha wanted to, cut that point off. And then Ramasepele says, no, not the towers, how they work now, because all this information is how they work now. We need to know how towers worked then, because my lord, towers are commissioned and decommissioned. And you know what Judge Ratha's response was? A whole sweet. That was epic. Well done to Ramasepele for standing tall against Judge Ratha, not once, but twice. Let me know in the comment section what you think about his cross-examination of host. Did he make ground? Did he get any clarification? To me, it was wishy-wishy. Okay, I feel he didn't follow through with anything. Not with anything. I feel he didn't follow through with his points. They always kind of like die out and phase out and trickle out. But this is what Ramasepele does. He's here to bring in the technical elements, and then you already know what happened after. Nisi Wemvula came through with the thunderstorm. But Nisi's not done. So later on today, Nisi is going to be back. It's going to be lit. I can't wait. Let me know your thoughts. Is Stein going to return to the courthouse today, or is he calling in absent? Ooh. Will there be a warrant of arrest if he is absent? Will he be in contempt of court? Hey, listen, Stein, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe watching from outside the club. It's a good day. It is a good day to consider subscribing to the channel as we make our way to 40,000 subscribers. And if for you right there, my VVIP, you've watched all the ads. Thank you so much. You have my heart. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload.